Dear students, today we will go through a sentence. Okay. Dear students, in a family you are staying. With a lot of family members. With a lot of family members. But you don't know who is who, what is his or her relationship with another. So then what will happen? That means you will name the thing in a different way, not in an exact way. Suppose let me tell you, somebody have a mother, brother, sister, uncle, aunt, grandfather, grandmother, like this. So numbers are there in a will. You should know father. Who is father? Now husband of your mother. Okay. The son of this grandfather. Okay. Suppose the uncle. Who is your uncle? Now brother of your mother is uncle, or with the brother of your father is also called uncle. Okay. Nephew is in this way. When you know the members and their relation, why he is brother, why he is mother, and why his sister. Okay. So that what will happen? Now the relationship between the members will be intact, will be a strong bond. Okay. And you will call your sister as sister. You should not call your sister as aunt. Why? You know she is your sister. Similarly, a sentence, the most important one in the English language. Sentence generally means a word or a group of words. They convey, they express a complete meaning is called a sentence. And everybody must know it. Sentence is of 3 types, but look at here, I have written 4 types: simple, compound, complex. But I have added another one, that is compound complex. Some of the book has dealt about it. Okay. If sentence simple, compound and complex. Okay. General 3 type sentences are there. Compound, complex get mixed and we find another compound, complex. In these 3 types of sentences, what happens? What is the most important one? Now the most important one is the simple sentence. But let me give you an example. Ram has done it. Ram came here and announced it. Ram announced that he would not come. Look at, I wrote three sentences. Ram has done it. It's a simple sentence. Ram came here and announced it. It's a compound sentence. You will find two sentences here with same weight. Ram came here and Ram announced it. Both the sentences are joined by coordinating conjunction. Already I have written coordinating conjunction. Or, and, but, either or, neither nor, both and. So, for, then, therefore, though, although, yet, while, whereas. And I used one here, and. Okay. Third one. Ram announced that he would not come. It's a complex sentence. Why? Now this is the principal clause. And this one is the subordinate clause. Is the subordinate clause. And this subordinate clause is a noun clause. Is a noun clause. If we exclude these two conjunctions, here this one coordinating and this one subordinating conjunctions. Okay, we'll exclude these things. What will we get? He would not come. He would not come. It is simple sentence. Ram announced it. It is simple sentence. Ram came here. It is simple sentence. Ram has done it. It is simple sentence. In three sentences, you will find the existence of the simple sentences. When you exclude the conjunctions, you will find the simple sentences. Okay? So let us discuss, if we understand what is the meaning of simple sentence, what are the components of simple sentence, then we will write beautiful sentences, we can write compound sentences perfectly, we can write complex sentences perfectly, we can also make the compound complex sentences perfectly. Your paragraph writing will be a good one because you have the almost knowledge about the components of a sentence. So let us start. What is simple sentence? Sentence means a word or a group of words. They convey a complete meaning. Is called a sentence. Okay? And in the sentence, we find two things. One is subject, another one is predicate. In sentence, we find two things. One is subject and another one is predicate. Okay. We have to know what is subject. What is subject? Now, subject is nothing but a word or several words. The subject consists of a word or several words. Okay. Let me write. Subject consists of a word or several words. Let me give an example. Ram has done it. Here Ram is the subject, it is one word. The birds of a feather flock together. The birds of a feather flock together. Here, the subject is not one word but several words. Okay, we got the sense. Subject consists of a word or several words. What is called subject? Now subject is nothing but the doer. Subject nothing but the doer of the sentence. Doer of the sentence. Subject nothing but the doer of the sentence. Karta. And the subject can be a word, can be several words. Okay. When we say several words, a subject consists of several words. Are all the words called subject? Yes, it is called subject. But among these several words, there is a real subject. There is a real subject. Look at here. Here birds. Here birds is the real subject. And this real subject is called what? Subject word. We find among the several words in the subject, we find what? A real subject. A real subject. Okay? Or we find a chief word. We find a real subject or a chief word which is called subject word. Is called subject word. Look at the subject word. Let me again tell you. In the subject, subject is nothing but a doer. In the subject, what we find? We find a word or several words. When we find several words in the subject, among these several words, there is only one word is very important, the chief word, and the real subject. Okay? That is called subject word. That is called subject word. Okay? Did you understand? Now let me tell you who can be the subject. Which word can be the subject in a sentence. Okay? Let me write. Which word can be the subject of a sentence? Okay? Words used as subject. Words used as subjects. There are so many words. A very vague conception is there. A noun can be subject. A pronoun can be subject. No. So many things are there. Can be the subject of a sentence. Let me write one by one. Noun can be the subject of a sentence. Noun. Okay. Ram is playing. The peon is ringing the bell. Mother will prepare breakfast. Okay. Look at here. These words are noun. Ram, Gopiyan, and Mother. These are noun. These are noun. And noun can be the subject of a sentence. Number 2, pronoun. Can be the subject of a sentence. I have seen him. We have done it. Someone broke the chair. Look at I, we, and someone. These are the pronoun. Okay. 2. Let me write number 3. Number 3. Okay. Adjective. Can the subject of a sentence. Already I have told you and taught you in the rule number 21 in agreement of verb, where we write the plus adjective, it works as a noun. It works as a noun. And this noun is always plural, so it takes the plural verb. Let me write examples. The rich lead a comfortable life. The sick are staying in quarantine centers. Okay. Lead and are plural verb without s. The verb ends, doesn't ends in s. Okay. The employed. Okay. Have or has. The employed have donated crores of rupees to PM Care Fund. Okay, look at the employed, the sick, the rich. These 3 words are adjective and they are used as noun here and they are plural. Number 3. Come to number 4. Number 4. Gerund. What is gerund? Gerund means verbal noun. And gerund can be the subject of a sentence. Okay? Let me give the example. Swimming is the best exercise. Okay. Smoking is prohibited here. Okay. Flying is strictly prohibited. It is strictly denied over Chandipur. Okay. Talking is a valuable gift of God. Look at the words. swimming. Okay. Swimming, smoking, flying, talking. These are the gerund. Means verbal noun derived from verb and used as noun in the sentence. Okay. Number 4. Then come to number 5. Number 5. Number 5 is to plus infinitive can be the subject of a sentence. Okay. Let me give you the example. Very common example everybody knows. To are is human. To are is human. Okay. To what can it be? To support. Okay. To any human. To steal is wrong. To see in the dark is difficult. Look at 3 sentences. Okay. To err is human. To steal is wrong. To see in the dark is difficult. Look at the subjected here. To aid, to steal, to see. These are 2 plus infinitives are used as the subject of a sentence. Okay. Then come what is number 6. Clause. Clauses are used as the subject of a sentence. Already I have taught you in the agreement bar what he thinks about me doesn't matter. Okay. Look at here. What he thinks about me doesn't matter. Whether the book will sell or not depends on how good it is. Look at here. Already I have taught you in the agreement of verb, when the subject of a sentence is a clause, it will be treated as singular. So I have written singular verb. You see, look at S. Look at S. Doesn't and depends. Clause. Clause can be the subject of a sentence. And the last one, phrase. The last one is phrase. Okay. 7. The birds of a feather, already I had written, flock together. The quality of the apples is excellent. Look at the 2 sentences. Okay. The beauty of the flowers attract all. Look at in the 3 sentences. What is the subject? Now first you find out the verb. Flock is the verb here. Is the verb here, and attract, it will be not attract, it will be attracts. Okay, why? The real subject is here beauty. The real subject here quality. The subject word means the chief word, or the real subject are the three underlined words. Okay, words, quality and beauty. As it is birds, we have used flock. As the quality is here, we have used is. As the third sentence, beauty, the subject word, the real subject, we have written here attract. Okay, you got 7 words or 7 things that can be the subject of a sentence. Okay, and look at here. If this is the subject word, okay, and let me make it a rectangle field. Okay, in the rectangle field, all are subject, but the red underlined words are subject word. If it is total subject and this is subject word, and excluding these subject words, what these words are called? यदि हमें सब्जेक्ट वर्ड को सब्जेक्ट रो माइनस कर दबा ताले हमें कौन पाइबा ना हमें पाइबा एट्रीब्यूट्स और एनलार्जमेंट. यदि हम इस सब्जेक्ट वर्ड को इस सब्जेक्ट से एक्सक्लूड कर देंगे तो हमको क्या मिलेगा ना, हमको मिलेगा एट्रीब्यूट्स और मिलेगा एनलार्जमेंट. ओके, now the question is what is called attribute and what is called enlargement. Let me write. Okay, attributes or enlargement. Attribute or enlargement. The words, okay, used as adjective or adjective equivalent is called, the words use adjective or adjective equivalent to the subject word is called attribute or enlargement, or you can say enlargement. Now question arises, which word can be the attribute or the enlargement? Okay, let me define. Words used as attribute or enlargement. Words used as attribute or enlargement. Number 1, what is article? ए पानी पड़ছে. Words used as attribute or enlargement. Okay, example, the apple is tasty. Okay, an apple is a nutritious fruit. Okay, the book on the table is mine. Look at here, D. Okay, article can be the attribute of the subject. Next, number two, which word can be the attribute? First one is the article. Number two, adjective. Okay, example, honest people are respected. Honest people, the word honest, look at our adjective. Okay, beautiful flowers give mental peace. Beautiful. Good students respect their teachers. Look at a good, honest, beautiful, good. They are used as attribute or enlargement. Number three. What is adjective equivalent, or you can say it is prepositional phrases. Adjective equivalent. I am not telling you adjective phrases. I am telling you adjective equivalent, or you can say the prepositional phrases. I told you the book on the table is mine. What is mine? The book is mine, not the book is not mine. The book on the table is mine. Okay? So here the book is the subject word. And these words, what? They are qualifying. They are qualifying the word book. So they are called adjective equivalent. They are not really adjective, but they are adjective equivalent. Or and starts from the preposition on. You can say prepositional phrases. Let me give you another example. The pictures on the wall look beautiful. Here the subject word is picture. What looks beautiful? The picture on the wall. So these on the wall, they qualify the subject word pictures. So as they qualify the noun, they are called adjective, but these are really not adjective. So they are adjective equivalent, or you can say as they start from the preposition, you can say prepositional phrase. Okay? Number 4. Emphatic pronoun. Emphatic pronoun can be the enlargement or attribute. I, myself, when they are, he, himself, served the lunch. Okay, we ourselves should look after our parents. Okay, look after our parents. are emphatic pronoun. These are emphatic pronoun, okay, and they are enlargement to the subject word or the real subject or the chief word in the subject. Number 5. Number 5 is nothing but gerundial infinitive. The question is, what is gerundial infinitive? We know gerund, we know infinitive, but a new word come here, gerundial infinitive. What is gerundial infinitive? Now when a 2 plus infinitive, they give information about a noun, okay, that is called gerundial infinitive. Again I am telling you, 2 plus infinitive is used to qualify, is used to add some information to a noun. They qualify a noun, that is called gerundial infinitive. Let me give the example. They are supposed to feed the street ducks is appreciated in every quarter. They are supposed to feed the street ducks. During the quarantine period, the ducks are not getting anything to fill their belly. So they are supposed to feed. Look at the to feed. It qualifying the subject matter. They are supposed. Okay. From this point of view, this 2 plus infinitive is nothing but gerundial infinitive. Okay. Our ability to supply them, to supply water to them is beyond phrase. Our ability to supply water, qualifies the noun our ability. Our ability to supply water to them is beyond phrase. Okay. In this way, we use 2 plus infinitive as gerundial infinitive. Okay. Number 6 says what? The number 6 says, okay, present and past participle can be attributed to what? Subject verb. Present participle and past participle. You know, third form, fourth form of the verb. Let me give you an example. Okay. Running water should be utilized. Okay. Running water should be utilized. Broken chairs have been repaired. Breaking news gives information about this. Breaking, located or breaking, broken, running. These 3 words, located 3 words. These 3 words are used as enlargement to the subject word, or you can say attribute to the subject word. Number 7. What is possessive adjective? Do you know possessive adjective? My, our, your, his, her, its, their. These words, though they belong to a pronoun family, but they are not pronoun. They are possessive adjectives. Okay? And they can be used as the subject enlargement, or you can say attribute. Okay? My friend helps me. Look at the word my. His father donated a lot to the orphanage. Look at his father. Okay, his and my, these are called possessive adjective. Okay, possessive adjective can be the enlargement to a subject verb. Come to number 8. Number 8 says what? Genitive case of a noun. Genitive case of a noun. Students behavior goes beyond control. Okay. Ram's parent think wisely. Look at the student's behavior. Your student genitive case. Ram's parent. Your Ram is also genitive case. And these word also genitive case can be also the enlargement to the subject word or attribute to the subject word. Okay. Let me verify the camera whether it is going on or not. Okay. Okay. The last one, 9. What is noun in apposition? Noun in apposition. My brother, the judge. Sorry, my brother, the judge has been invited to the function. Mother Teresa, the social worker, is remembered forever. Okay? Locate the word restricted by comma here. Social worker, restricted by comma here. Okay? This is a position to the subject word. Mother Teresa and my brother. These 9 categories are used as a subject enlargement, or you can say attribute. Okay, this is the subject. Now let us go to predicate part. Predicate part, only one thing I will teach you today. Okay, and all other things will be taught in the next class. Okay. In the predicate part, predicate. In the predicate part, what we will get? We will get verb. Next one is object. Next one is complement. Okay, all these two things object complement are attached to var, and by deriving var what we get? We get var transitive. Okay, var transitive, and by deriving var transitive what we get? Now we will get, okay, ditransitive, we will get complex transitive, okay, and next one we will get what? Var intransitive. Okay, we will get var intransitive. Number 3 we will get linking var. Okay, we will get linking var, and we will discuss all these things in the next class. Var, object, complement. If you divide var, we will find var transitive, one, second one ditransitive, third one is, this is 1, 2, 3, and here you can say B, C, number 2, number 3. In this way we will get the things in the predicate part. It's a very big chapter. We'll discuss in detail about predicate in the next class. I think you'll understand the subject word, the attributes or the enlargement in detail. I have taught you in detail. I think till then you will practice all the things for the next class. Before closing the class, I would like to request you subscribe the channel, and so that I will be able to post the chapters in detail so that you can understand the things, okay, and you can apply the things in a lively manner, in a beautiful manner, okay. Bye bye.